Hey everybody, Patrick with you right now. Joining me right now happens to be Todd, High School Fishing League time. Todd, we're getting ready for our next tournament. I guess we say that is stop number 3.
That's it.
Stop number three. Stop number 3 at a lake that's known for big bass. Caney Creek is where we're going to. We're going to go over those particulars about Caney Creek for you as well. But let me just tell everybody right now, we are over here in Bossier City. We are at the boardwalk at Bass Pro Shops.
Absolutely. Bass Pro Shops. Gotta love it.
Yeah, and they help us out a whole lot also with High School Fishing League.
Man, they do. They're one of our sponsors that came on board last year, hot and heavy with us, and done a lot of good things. And man, they've jumped up big time for us again this year.
So we are here right now, so don't forget to as well. They do have their big spring fishing classic going on through March the 26th. So you want to make sure to mark your calendars to get a chance to come on out here. But let's talk a little bit about the last tournament before we start talking about Caney. Our last tournament was stop number 2, Toledo Bend there. Toledo Bend turned out to be, it's safe to say it was better than Caddo Lake because of the weather, even though it was a little bit of a dreary day, but still it was able to produce, some bass out there too.
Yeah, for sure, man. Just want to give a shout out to those teams that done well in the cool conditions. I think we expected that weather to be a little better, but we had some rain, had some cold temperatures, of course. Definitely kind of threw us a curveball these first couple of tournaments.
It did, and I'll address a little bit about the weather for Caney Creek for you too coming up here to give you a little bit of an idea of what you should be prepared for. But too, whenever it comes to the junior division and the high school division, we had 2 teams that won it that are no strangers, neither one of them, to putting on a good show. Yeah,
absolutely. On the high school side, I happen to be Carson's boat captain.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you that turned out well for us. We'll start with the juniors in a minute. That turned out well for us, but I'm gonna tell you that day was very, very slow getting started. It took a while to get things going. It took a while to find the right areas, and of course they was able to get it done.
They were able to get it done with it. Our junior division got it done as well, and they both put on quite a show there as far as the tournament. We did have more teams catch fish versus the Caddo Lake tournament.
Thank goodness.
That wouldn't have taken a whole lot there with it. But like we said, these 2 teams here that are top of both of those divisions, I mean, they've won before. Carson and
Brooks Beatty,
they were all able to do stuff.
Yeah, they really were. And so to give a shout out to the junior teams, Brooks Beatty and Caleb Colburn from Calvary, they ended up with 15.9 pounds, and they also had a big bass. And it was kind of ironic that both the junior and the high school division, the kids that won the tournament had big bass. It don't always work out that way, but they had a 3.92 for the win. So they were able to get it done.
And what was Carson's weight?
Yeah, Carson and Colton. Arnold, they had 18.97. They had big bass of 6.16. And just to talk a little bit about that, just real briefly, guys, that went down in the last literally 10 minutes of the day. Like the last area that we pulled up in, Carson made a decision to move. We moved, we slid in there, and it was absolutely on fire. Yeah. So, hey, look, all you junior teams out there, you coaches, man, tell those kids about that. Man, you got to make every cast that you can. You got to grind it out to the end. Carson's been fortunate in Colton to get a few wins this year, and I've seen a couple of those that have been within this one last 10 minutes, the other one was down to the last hour. So y'all just keep grinding. Fishing's gonna get better. Y'all gonna have a blast at Caney. Should be a lot of fish caught on this tournament. Yeah,
and the 2, Colton and Carson, congratulations to them. They've been on a little bit of a streak lately, winning a tournament, winning this tournament, the weekend before, winning a tournament associated with I guess that would be associated with Major League Fishing tournament.
Yeah, MLF.
MLF, and then the one before that was another one back down at Toledo Bend.
Also. Bass Nation tournament.
So congratulations to them for that. So we did that there. By the way, too, special thanks to, I guess we call him a Bass Pro Shops fishing pro, Mr. Justin Cooper.
Man, how cool was that?
Yeah, Justin, who won earlier this year a Major League Fishing Bass Pro Tour on Lake Conroe. He was nice enough to come out. I'd invited him to come out to do an interview with me for something, and the next thing I know, the dude stays out there the entire time, talks to him, takes pictures with them, takes pictures with all the winners there, which was super cool.
Yeah.
And then too, and for anybody, by the way, watching this video, and if you don't make it out to our weigh-in, which obviously we'd love for you to be out there.
Certainly.
But maybe before you come out there, if you're in Bossier City or something, and you know you're here first thing, and before you drive out or something like that, Justin's actually going to be here in Bass Pro Shop on Saturday, the day of our weigh-in for Caney Creek going on here, right here back behind us here at the fish tank.
That's right.
So just in case you're in the neighborhood there, I think that's from like 10 or 11 until 4, I think.
Yes, absolutely. And look, come out and meet that guy. I'm going to tell you what a humble guy.
Local
guy, man. The funny thing about him that I heard him tell a lot of these young anglers is like, man, never saw such good competition. He stayed around, I think, because he was in awe of literally the participation and the amount of kids and the amount of parents, the whole system, man. He was just really, he was telling these kids, he's like, one day you guys are going to be taking my money. So it was pretty cool.
He also understands too, and some people don't sometimes, this comes with being somebody fishing at that level.
Absolutely.
Is that, you know, he wants to go and give back. So let's switch gears a little bit there.
Sure.
We got Caney Creek coming up this upcoming weekend for us. Let's just go over it sort of in order just a little bit for it. Let's talk about Friday. Friday night, you know, you try to put on some type of fellowship that goes on with a sort of a meal that night there. So this is no stranger there to it. I think this week starts at 5:45. Technically, that's what Kirk told me. He says 5:45, so make sure everybody gets there.
Right.
Going on. Just real fast here, tell us about what can people expect Friday night?
Yeah, so Friday night, what we do on the Friday night fellowship, and guys, we encourage y'all, if y'all are camped in the area, if you're Airbnb-ing, man, y'all come over to this thing. It's awesome. We had a great guest speaker last time. We've got a couple of guest speakers lined up this time. I'm not going to say exactly what we're going to have for food. It's not going to be hot dogs this time. It's not going to be hamburgers. It's going to be pretty special. Okay. It's going to start with Southern and it's going to end with chicken. So y'all don't want to miss that.
Is it going to be a little classic?
Could be a little classic
we'll see.
In there. Could be a little classic. So look, make that out. So what we do with that deal is we have a meal. We break bread together. We have a little Devo. We listen to some guest speakers. Man, we talk shop. We're all in the tournament there, so we get to talk a little fishing with one another, and board members will be on hand. And guys, we always want to encourage y'all during that time. Parents, grandparents, any constructive criticism or likewise about the league, about our process, we're there and available. We want to talk to you guys about improving what we do. We work for you guys. We volunteer our time, but we want to make sure we're putting on the best show that we can for these kids and all these parents.
Okay, so that's going to be taking place Friday night. Put the address there on the bottom of the one sheet there that you can find. So check that out. So again, that is the fellowship on Friday evening. So after that, jumping ahead just a little bit, let's go to Saturday now. Saturday morning, this takes place, and the launch is officially out of the state park that is there.
Right. Jimmy Davis State Park.
Right. Question for you, number one, can folks only launch from there, or can they launch elsewhere and come to that location?
You can launch elsewhere and come to that location. We don't mind that. Always just, be cautious about that. I know we have electronics and grass and that kind of thing, and Caney's a pretty good lake in that it don't have a lot of stumps in it.
Okay.
But if you launch somewhere else and come over, make us aware as you pull up that you're part of the tournament and that kind of thing, and just kind of emerge into the staging area. But just be very careful. If you come into the park, as Patrick stated, there's even a couple of launches there at the park. There's the east launch, and then there's the west launch. We don't mind you launching at either one of those. We're not going to have anyone over at the west launch. Okay. We're all going to be set up at the east launch like we always do. The guys and gals that have been a part of our deal, we're going to launch at the same location, which is that east side.
Okay, so that takes place there. How early in the morning are you guys going to be there?
So 4:30 roughly is kind of where we always like to kick it off. Even though daylight savings time has happened, we're going to have somebody there at the gate, 4:30. It is $3 this year. They've helped us out with the fee. So try to remember to bring $3. I know that's a little aggravating.
Is there going to be anybody at the gate to collect that, or are they going to pay you that at the boat launch?
No, we're going to have somebody at the gate.
You all will have
that's
somebody
right.
at the
we'll
gate.
We'll have somebody at the gate.
Okay.
Early morning hours. You're going to get a slip of paper that has Caney Lake on it, and it has a number. That's just going to help us keep up with how many people we owe as you come into there. So there again, you're going to have somebody set up there. You're going to pay $3. You're going to get a slip of paper. and just come on into the launch.
Okay, so that's going to take place there. You're going to get a slip of paper. That slip of paper, you're going to tell them to make sure they put on their dashboard.
That's right.
Too. That's sort of like the little parking pass there to do that.
Yep.
They're going to go there. They're going to put their boats into the water there. There's a staging area that is there.
Sir.
We got that information listed there on the map for it. And whenever they get ready to leave, there's going to be a dock there, right?
Yep.
Okay,
Absolutely.
and they're going to go past that dock and do what?
Going to idle past that dock. We're going to perform the boat check there in the water. So just like last week at Toledo Bend, we're going to have a mass kill switch check. And then as you come by, as we're calling numbers, you're going to get your boat peg, have your life jackets on, of course your running lights on, and your live wells open. We're going to perform those boat checks as you idle by.
So that's sort of where they officially sort of check out. They get their peg, and then they go out fishing in order, correct?
That's correct.
The junior league first, and then after that, the senior division.
Correct.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
so after that takes place there, and they come on through there, they're going to fish that day, and after they fish that day with it, and they do that, then whenever they check in, the check-in is going to be a little bit different this time.
Yeah.
So check-in this time, rather than looking for somebody that's going to be there on the beach or something like that,
Correct.
You're going to go back to the exact same place and that exact same launch where you went by that morning to get your peg, and you're going to check in back there.
Exactly. Just like Toledo Bend, guys. We gave those pegs out on the end of that gazebo. We're going to give these pegs out on the end of the dock. And when you come in, and so you don't get confused, as you're coming in that evening or that afternoon, you're going to see the festivities and the trailer and everything set up on your left, right near the swimming area. Just remember, go just past that. We're going to have somebody out on that dock where you got your peg that morning. You're going to give your peg back, and that's going to be checked in. Once you're checked in there, you just circle back around, head over toward that swimming area to proceed with the weigh-in.
Right. Look, I'm assuming being a swimming area, part of that's marked off, but there is some beach area, I think, on either side of it where you can park your boat at.
Yep.
But again, the key thing is to remember, if you go park your boat, and then all of a sudden you go weigh in line and you remember, oh man, I didn't go by that dock. You need to make sure you go to the dock first.
Have to go by the dock first.
Check in there so you don't get penalized or anything with it. Then you're going to take your boat, you're going to park it there on the beach. You can then go get your bag.
That's it.
And they'll get your bag, and make sure you return your bag right afterwards, because that's how y'all stagger everything out with it. But you're going to go get your bag, get your fish, and all that, and go for the weigh-in process, correct?
Sir. Correct. And what we're encouraging too is once you've weighed in, even if you're in the top, if your team's doing well, we're encouraging to try to load your boat after you've weighed in. There's plenty of parking around on that side of the park. They have 2 or 3 little parking areas you can pull off side of the road. So once you've weighed in, you've got your fish, pull off of that beach, give other flights that are coming in time, juniors. Once y'all done with your weigh-in, let's try to clear that out and get ready for the high school kids.
Because that's the thing I was curious about too, is that if we have everybody sometimes even parking their boats or doing it and doing that with it, it might be a thing too, and you tell me if I'm right or wrong, is that if the teams get up there for weigh-in and that boat captain's still hanging around with that boat, if that boat captain's able to go load that boat up and have help, maybe go ahead and do that.
Yes, 100%. That'll just clear out the room.
Even better.
Even better. If we can manage that process, that would be great. So just be mindful. We got a limited area to park in there. Like I said, we're going to make it a lot better this year with the check-in. One other thing I want to mention, fish care is very, very important to this league. And we'll announce the name and get into to who we're partnering with. But we've been very blessed and very fortunate to commission a release boat for not only this tournament, same guy that we had at Toledo Bend, but we're going to have it for every tournament the rest of this year, and we're going to have a release boat every tournament next year for every event that we have.
Okay.
Reason that's important, guys, it's all about the bass. It's all about taking care of those fish. And when you get through taking your pictures at the back of the trailer of the recovery tank, pretty much anglers and boat captains remember this. That's pretty much where you're going to end with the fish. You're not going to be responsible for getting those fish back down to the water. We're going to have fish runners, volunteers that are going to take those fish in the bags. They're going to let them recover in that tank. Our release boat is going to be tied up at a small dock that's right there beside the weigh-in site behind that pavilion.
So they don't have to worry about taking their fish back to the water. Instead, you're going to have volunteers that are going to go take those fish and take those down there to the release boat and doing that. So you have those different aspects there, and I think we covered most of the stuff there. That's probably an important part of what they need to go over in the morning time. So basically, go to the staging area there, the east ramp.
Yep.
They're going to go by the dock. That is where you're going to do all the checks for them. They're going to get their peg. They're going to go out fishing, come back by their flight times listed there with it, go back to that dock, check in there, take your boat, then come back around to the beach, go get their bag, and weigh their fish in, and then get that boat taken care of and loaded up.
That's it.
And then that's pretty much the process there.
Yeah.
So we have, again, a lot of that's on the one sheet there that's going to be with it. Let's just go over a few other little just housekeeping items there for it. This upcoming tournament, the benefactor for the Impact 2025 is going to be who?
The benefactor for that is going to be the Veterans Home.
That is Woody's Home for Veterans.
Woody's Home for Veterans.
Right. It's
correct.
It's right located here in Shreveport. There with it, Woody does a whole bunch of different things. Are we looking? Are we looking for cash donations or item donations?
Cash donations, item donations.
That you can,
anything that you want to bring.
And you can, by the way, go to their website and just look at it online there, and there should be a page there of how you can help them out. But I'm sure cash can go a long way there for them.
Absolutely. And we're not. We're not mandating that kind of thing, guys, but as any of y'all that have been a part of Fishing Fellowship, the Impact stuff, it's all about giving back to the community. So we would love that every team be able to just pick up some kind of item, whether it be toiletry items, bathroom products, anything like that, or like he's saying, a small cash donation. Let's just be mindful of Impact 2025 that we're putting on. There's going to be an aquarium there. If you want to drop a cash donation in, guys, anything will help.
Right. Okay, so you have that there, and in case you are curious, right now, a couple of things here to let folks know about. One is that I know the weather sometimes can be a concern.
Sure.
And I'll try to put out an update on this by Friday evening there for you. I will tell you, based upon right now, Friday's forecast doesn't look like it had been looking, and also hopefully Friday's in decent shape for us. Very small chance for rain, if anything at all. Saturday's forecast, it's a little iffy there on as far as what could happen. There's some high uncertainty with it. We are expecting storms to develop, but the question of it is, will they develop near Caney or will they be east of the area? So my advice is for you right now, stay alert to any changing weather conditions on Saturday. It is a game day decision thing for it basically. For it. I'd have your rain gear with you and monitor the situation, but I'll try to put out any type of an update on that by the time we get to Friday evening. But we really won't know on some of it until we get to Saturday. The other thing too is that we are, as of right now, going to attempt to do the kids fishing rodeo. I think last time we did it basically from like 11 until 1 with it. We invite families. There's areas around there in the vicinity the kids can fish from the bank.
Sure.
If you want to do that. We'll cook hot dogs up out there for the kids. If y'all want to come out there and bring them, here's the kicker. Now this is for any families, by the way, that come out for the weigh-in or come out for the kids fishing rodeo. When you come through the gate there, tell them you were there for the high school fishing league tournament.
Yep.
And then the rate's going to be $3. There's still a fee, but it's $3 for the car itself.
Not per person.
Not per person, $3 for the car.
If you mention high school fishing league, you're there with the tournament.
Yeah.
Tell everyone, moms, dads, grandparents, friends, anybody that's coming out to watch the weigh-in participant-wise, they're going to want to ask you a head count for the vehicle, but you're only going to get charged $3 if you mention.
Right, and if you're coming early for the rodeo, tell them the same thing, that you're there for the high school fishing league event, because it's all tied in together with each other and doing it. But hopefully we'll have a great turnout there for it. Hopefully the weather will, again, keep our fingers crossed on that. Should not be as cool though, should not be as what we've had for the previous two tournaments. Okay, so, anything else we didn't touch on?
Yeah, I just want to give this information again. Kurt Williams is your tournament director. Guys, if you have anything before the tournament, any issues with boat captain, any issues the morning of that you're coming down, any issues while you're on the water, if there's anything that you see that you need to report, any concerns, any of that stuff. Kurt Williams, his number is 318-207-3655. Again, I'm a board member, so my cell phone number, Todd Adcock, is 318-364-6007. If you need to get a hold of us for anything, text us, call us. Cell phone service out there is a little spotty, but if you have any concerns, reach out to us. You're not bugging us, guys. That's what we're here for.
Okay, so we got covers it.
I believe that covers everything.
And in the words of Todd Adcock, real quick. This wasn't. It went a little bit longer there for us. But anyway, folks, have ourselves a great time this weekend. Hope to see you out there. Caney Creek, everybody.
And in good nature, I'm not actually finished. I want to mention volunteers.
Okay.
I want to mention volunteers. Listen, we have a great group. Stephen Cooper heads up the volunteer committee. Guys, I'm going to tell you, we're running a little bit lean in the afternoons for volunteers. Morning time, great participation. We love everybody coming out and helping us with what we do. Implementing the release boat, I failed to mention a while ago, we do need a couple of extra volunteers for fish runners and things like that. We've got some people in place for that, but the more the merrier. If you have time, if you're staying there on the grounds, you don't have anything to do, grandma, grandpa, other siblings, have them come on out and help us in the afternoon for the weigh-in.
Will Shorty's be there also on Saturday?
Man, we can't forget Shorty's, man. That great food. I believe he's going to do some jambalaya again and a chicken strip basket. So Shorty's catering will be there. They'll be set up on site. So we won't have to worry about eating that cold sandwich that we didn't eat during the tournament. We'll be able to get some hot food.
Okay, everybody. Caney Creek takes place this upcoming weekend. See you there.